Hello guys and welcome to Odds on Bundesliga. Let's analyze with Radek Vegas the 8th match day of the German competition after the Bayern Munich victory over Borussia Dortmund. And remember, if you leave a comment in this video, you will get the chance to win a £10 free bet with Novibet. And if you enjoyed the video, press the like button and subscribe to our channel. And now let's go on with the show. After the international break, we have Bundesliga back and we have Radek Vegas with us. Hello, Radek.
Hey, Eduardo. Let's start.
Let's start. We enjoyed a really good game. Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich just before the international break. And now it's time to analyze all the games we have in Bundesliga. And the first one is Arminia Bielefeld, Bayer Leverkusen. Probably one of the easiest one to predict the outcome, you will tell me, but Arminia Bielefeld is really in poor form, only 4 points, and now is 5 defeats in a row, whereas Bayer Leverkusen, I think they are doing a pretty good job so far, no? 4 victories in a row, undefeated yet, and they got a really important victory against Gladbach before the break. Here the odds are for Leverkusen, of course, very low, 1.61, Radek.
Yeah, they're low, but I think they're still pretty good here because, as you mentioned, Leverkusen is a way better team. They have 0 losses in 7 games as one of just, I think, 2 teams in the league. They didn't lose a game so far, and I think it's a good thing to bet on Leverkusen here with an Asian handicap, you know. I won't be surprised if they win with 2 goals in advantage, like 3-0, maybe higher. The question will be how fit the players are after some national team games, but yeah, and Bielefeld doesn't have that much international players. They had more time to rest, but yeah, Leverkusen is by far the better team, and that's why a bet on them is definitely not a fault. I like the Asian handicap -1 here. You get odds with 1.95 on it. That means if it's only a win with only 1 goal, you get your money back at least. So that's a thing I like.
Okay, if you are even adventurous, as you said, like it's gonna be a very easy victory for Bayer Leverkusen, we can get even odds at 4.10 with Asian handicap -2 for Leverkusen. That's very high, but also it's not that easy to win with that distance. Arminia Bielefeld also lost like 5-0, no, the previous game against Union Berlin, so their form is pretty poor. And Leverkusen beat Gladbach, direct rivals last year for the Champions League spots, probably also this year. And Gladbach now face Augsburg at home. Remember that next week also we will have Champions League, so Gladbach has a very, very important game against Shakhtar, so maybe they pay a close eye to that game because they should win, no, against Augsburg, another team that started the season pretty well, but now only 1 victory in the last 5 games. Here again, Gladbach really favorite.
Yes, but in this case, I don't like the odds very much. You get 1.5 around on a home win. And because I don't trust Gladbach in the Bundesliga. You said it twice that they lost against Leverkusen. It was a really spectacular game to watch. 7 goals, 4 goals for Leverkusen. That means the defense of Gladbach is not bulletproof at all, and Augsburg can make 1 or 2 goals here as well, and that's why I won't bet on these low odds on Gladbach. On the other hand, I think Gladbach can win this game closely for sure. But the odds on Asian handicap on Gladbach are still too low, and That's why I don't see a huge advantage for Gladbach here. On the other hand, I won't bet on Augsburg because they are clearly the underdog in this game.
Would you go in this kind of game maybe for the goals market?
Yeah, it's obvious that you can expect around 3 goals here, but you don't get good odds for that as well. If you bet on over 3 goals, the odds are 1.94. That's okay. But it's just a money back if they are exactly 3 goals. And with the Champions League in mind, I think Gladbach will take a breath in this game after their players also come back from a lot of international games. And that's why I expect a bit a close game, maybe not a high scoring game, because there is not much value on over goals here.
Probably we see more goals in the next game because Bayern Munich is playing at home against Werder Bremen. Well, if you said the game with Leverkusen Gladbach was spectacular, we can say of course the same with that Borussia Dortmund. Bayern Munich, the Flicks team, is still on top of the table. They lost Kimmich, though, bad news for all football fans. And Werder Bremen is in the middle of the table. They have 4 draws in a row, 6 games unbeaten, probably until this weekend, right?
Yeah, but maybe not. It's always the same argumentation because Bayern Munich has about 8 to 10 international players coming back from their games and also focused on big games in the Champions League. But yes, for sure they're clearly favorite. But if you want some fair odds around 2, you have to bet on Asian handicap minus 2.75 on Bayern Munich. Means if they win with 3 goals in advantage, you only win the half. And this is a kind of a huge speculation because of the unknown situation after these national games. So I won't touch this game only because it's out of the rhythm, and we didn't have Bundesliga games for 2 weeks now. So I think it will take some game days to get back to normal situations. In a normal situation, it's a clear 4-0, 5-0, 8-0 for Bayern Munich. But we don't have this regular situation here, and that's why I'm a bit aware of Bayern rests their key players like Gnabry, Sané, Goretzka. Maybe they lost Kimmich, and maybe they will start with a second team, and that's a kind of chance for Werder Bremen to keep the game close.
Then let's not touch this game, and if this one, I mean, we all believe that Bayern Munich should win, the next one is difficult to call. I would say for the outright market, we have Hoffenheim, Stuttgart. Stuttgart doing pretty well in their comeback to the Bundesliga. 4 draws in the last 5 games. Still very competitive, and Hoffenheim doing way better in Europe than in Bundesliga. 4 defeats in the last 5 games. The last one was against Wolfsburg. We should expect Hoffenheim to be a little bit closer to the European positions in the table. Maybe beating Stuttgart is a good way to get in that part of the table.
Yes, but as we had news on Oddspedia 4 days ago that the whole Hoffenheim team is in Corona quarantine, and I don't know what players will be on the pitch on Saturday against Stuttgart. This can be a really tough game for Hoffenheim. They depend a lot on Kramaric, who missed a lot of games this season, and when he was not on the field, Hoffenheim was a complete other team. No impact in the offense and no really danger in scoring goals. And so in this game I have to wait really till Saturday before the game to see if the most important players of Hoffenheim are playing. If they will play with Kramaric, I think the odds right now are 2.4 on Hoffenheim home win are really great. If Kramaric is not playing, I won't touch a bet here, because I think this would end as a clear draw, and that is nothing I like to bet right now. But I tend to Hoffenheim, but I need to have more information we don't have at the place now. But everyone who's watching, Oddspedia has great news section for every game, and you can view on one spot all news about the teams, and this is a great thing to get informations and decide what is a good bet and what is not. So in this case I highly recommend to wait till Saturday to make a bet.
And of course, they can check the live odds. So when the game has kicked off, also you can see all the best odds in live. So with all the movements, so you always know which bookie offers you the best odds for whatever market you want to choose. And the next one is once upon a time was a Champions League teams game. Right now they are struggling, especially Schalke in the bottom of the table. Schalke hosts Wolfsburg. Schalke only 3 points, 3 draws. The last one was a draw actually against Mainz and Wolfsburg. You mentioned that there are 2 teams unbeaten in this Bundesliga. Leverkusen is one and Wolfsburg is the other one. But they are drawing most of the times. Last one though, it was a victory against Hoffenheim. Here the odds 3.9 for Schalke, 2.1 for Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg didn't lose a game. Schalke didn't win a game so far after 7 games. I think this won't probably change because Schalke had now 2 weeks break, and I don't know if this is good or bad for them, because against Mainz, they had the chance to win this game, but they didn't again. And Wolfsburg was kind of getting better and better, and now they had also a break in their rhythm. And the odds on Wolfsburg, I think they are pretty too low and not attractive enough, because one day we will hopefully see that. I know you are kind of liking Schalke. I think one day they will win a game, and the longer they don't win, the chances are better that they win somehow 1-0 with a dirty penalty, maybe in this game. I don't know. That's surely a thing. I won't bet on bad teams like Schalke, but on the other hand, I don't trust Wolfsburg enough to bet on them with only odds around 2. So if the odds on Wolfsburg are a little bit higher, I consider a bet maybe, but I'm not 100% confident about that.
I'm losing my faith, I have to say, on Schalke. The weeks are passing and it's getting harder to get a victory. Next one is Eintracht Leipzig. We know Leipzig is one of the best teams in the Bundesliga, but they have a very important game in the Champions League that might affect their performance against Eintracht, always a difficult team to beat. Although this season they are struggling, now it's 4 games without a victory for the Frankfurt team, and is 12 games in a row conceding goals in Bundesliga. So I think the Leipzig strikers can get a good opportunity also to hit the net against Eintracht. Odds for Leipzig are 2.0, so in the line.
this is a pretty good odd on Leipzig here, I think. And you mentioned that we always are a bit aware of Frankfurt. We think they are a kind of better team than they really are, according to their results, and that's why anything else than a Leipzig win will be a surprise here. That's why I like the odds on Leipzig with 2.0. Another thing I can imagine here is that there will be also a lot of goals because of the Leipzig strikers, but also on the other hand, Frankfurt has Andre Silva, who scored 5 times until now, and odds for over 3 goals, you get 1.93. That's again not a huge and perfect value, but I like this in this game more than in the other game we had before with Gladbach and Augsburg. So we have 2 options: bet on Leipzig win or bet on over 3.0 goals. And I'm not sure right now what is the better one. I tend to support Leipzig here because Frankfurt is a kind of not really that good as they might be, and that's why I think Leipzig has to win this game.
Okay, then let's go for Leipzig, and also Borussia Dortmund has to win their game against Hertha, but their odds are lower. In this case, it's around 1.8 for Borussia Dortmund victory. We saw how they were defeated against Bayern Munich, but there is nothing wrong about it. And Hertha won against Augsburg. Is a very important victory for them, only 7 points. And they are especially bad at home. They haven't won a single game yet in Berlin. So that's why probably the odds for Borussia Dortmund is around 1.76. Hertha is around 5.
Yeah, for sure. The odds are not that bad because Dortmund only lost 2 games. We all know they lost very closely against Bayern Munich. They scored 2 goals against Bayern Munich, and they showed a lot of good games in this season. Despite the loss against Augsburg, throw this away, and the loss in the Champions League against Lazio Rome. And these were the only 2 games where Dortmund was not really good. But in all other games, they were a favorite, and they won these games very easily, most of them. And another in danger to repeat me again. They also have a lot of national team players like Haaland is playing for Norway, and Sancho for England, and these key players are not rested, and that can be a point because Hertha can score goals as well. Dortmund made 15 goals and Hertha made 13 goals. They have very good attackers with Dodi Lukebakio, with Cunha, and so I think Hertha can kind of be a danger to Dortmund here. But on the other hand, if everything is in a normal situation, I would bet on the odds of 1.7 on Dortmund. But again, we need to know who is playing exactly. Is everyone fit after the national team games? And that's why here as well, bet only before the game on Saturday when you collect all information from oddspedia.com.
Exactly, and Dortmund also face Bruges in the Champions League, so maybe Favre decides to keep some important players because they need to win that game at home to have still many chances to qualify for the last 16 round of the Champions League. And on Sunday we have Freiburg Mainz, with Mainz being the worst team so far in the Bundesliga, only 1 point and was a draw against Schalke. Freiburg, 6 points, 6 games without a victory. And the odds for them to win that game is 2.24. I don't know if this is too low for you to rely on a team that has not won for 6 games, actually.
Yeah, pretty much too low, because in this game, if you don't know the odds, what would you say? Would you say it's a clear win for Freiburg? Is Freiburg way better than Mainz? I'm not really sure about that. And in every Bundesliga game, no matter if Mainz has 0 points or 0 wins, or I think now they have 1 point after the Schalke game. It was their first point in this season so far. They conceded 20 goals, but they also scored 7 goals, only 1 less than Freiburg did. So in this situation, I think it's a highly danger to face a draw, or maybe a surprise of Mainz, as we know that without spectators and without fans in the stadiums, there are a lot more away wins than we had in full-filled stadiums, and that's why there is no big advantage, in my opinion, for Freiburg to bet on them with these small odds here. And on the other hand, I won't bet on a team who only has 1 point, and that's a clear no bet here.
Okay, so not touch this game, and I think exactly the same can apply to the last game we have in the Bundesliga. We have Cologne, Union Berlin. Cologne also one of the teams that have not won a single game so far, 3 points. And they face Union Berlin, who are doing very good. Actually, they are 5th so far with 12 points. And the odds here actually are very level. We have Cologne 2.87 and Union Berlin 2.66. I don't know if you really trust Union Berlin to get a victory with these odds, or is also a no touch.
Yeah, but I don't have to trust them. That's the brilliant thing here, because if you only go with the math and the probability and have a look on the standings, you see a clear picture. And I think a lot of Union Berlin fans printed out the standings with them on the 5th place, because this is kind of a miracle. And it's not a huge surprise, because they are really a good team. They have, with Max Kruse, one of the best German soccer players, and a lot of fans in Germany are talking about, Joachim Löw should call Kruse back to the national team, but that's a complete different story. But in the last game against Bielefeld, with the 5-0 win of Union Berlin, I think he made 3 or 4 scorer points or something like that. He's in a brilliant shape, and that's why Union Berlin is on fire at the moment. And the odds of 2.6 against a team like Cologne, who is really, really bad and struggling, are really high, and high enough to bet on. And that's what sports betting is about. You can't win every bet, but you have to place your money smart on good odds. And in this case, we have good odds on Union Berlin. And even if the game is a draw or they lose, the bet is good enough to make profit in the long run, because in every situation, if you bet in similar situations on games like this, you will make profit, because I think the chances are way higher than 40% for Union Berlin to win this game.
Okay, perfectly explained. So our money goes to Kruse and to Union Berlin. Thank you very much, Radek. We always learn a lot with you, explaining us your bets in Bundesliga. A pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun again, and subscribe our channel, because we are growing and we're improving week by week, and Eduardo does a great job.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You listen to Radek Vegas. He has no doubts you should place your bet in Union Berlin. And also remember to leave a comment in this video if you want the chance to win a £10 free bet with Novibet. And like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to our channel and click on the bell to get all the notifications. Also, you can listen to all our videos in our podcast. And next week we will be back with more information about the Bundesliga, always with Radek Vegas.